Sometime later, Frank experienced a different kind of ET food on one of the Nordic ships. One of the ETs handed him a goblet containing a clear iridescent liquid that seemed to shimmer and sparkle in the light. The liquid was thicker than water, about the consistency of light syrup. The Nordic motioned for Frank to take a sip, saying, "This drink was specifically designed for your body, just as mine was specifically designed for me." Frank took a small sip and found the drink to be pleasant and slightly sweet. The moment it entered his mouth, he felt a tingling sensation that started in his lips and rapidly spread throughout his body. Instantly, he felt a spiritual and physical uplift, an almost euphoric sense of well-being. The ET continued, "Before consuming this drink, our technology scanned your health and then produced a drink that would provide every nutrient needed by your body and mind. If 10 people have a meal together, all their drinks would look the same but would be different. As you know, we also consume solid food, such as fresh and reconstituted vegetables. However, we can consume this drink alone for long periods and remain healthy. It contains every vital nutrient that we need, some of which your scientists know, and some they do not." The Nordic continued, "Long ago on your planet, the ancient people of India had a similar healing drink that they called soma, or the elixir of the gods. It produced a mild euphoria. ETs that visited those ancient people showed them how to make it. Of course, this drink is not the same but provides a similarly uplifting effect. The effect is something like that claimed for hallucinogenic drugs on Earth, except the results of this drink are only positive, without any adverse side effects or addictive qualities." George Adamski also mentioned a similar drink aboard an ET ship, and the ETs gave Orfeo Angelucci a similar one with healing properties. Angelucci described something similar to Frank's description of soma. Lyra, one of the ETs, took a white wafer from the crystal cabinet while Orion, another ET, poured a sparkling liquid into a lavender crystal goblet. It glistened in the soft light. Hesitantly, I lifted it to my lips and tasted the drink. It was the most delicious beverage I had ever tasted. I drained the cup. Even as I was drinking, a feeling of strength and well-being swept over me, and all of my unpleasant symptoms vanished. There is an amusing similar story in one of Preston Dennett's books. A contactee named Kevin was face-to-face with several ETs and was curious. "Do you eat?" he asked them. They replied yes. Not knowing whether they were vegetarians or not and fearing the worst, the contactee asked them hesitantly, "Are you going to eat me?" The ETs almost laughed. They responded, "You watch too many horror movies." Something similar happened in one of Frank's meetings when a man jokingly asked about whether aliens eat human brains. Frank knew that most people are fearful of the ETs, and so, he gathered that the man was only half joking. To have some fun with the group, Frank told them this story about what happened when some ETs invited him and several other Earth people aboard one of their ships. Frank said that as they arrived, one of the ETs told them, "Welcome to our ship, Earthlings. To celebrate, please join us for dinner." The humans were enthusiastic because none of them had ever eaten ET food. The ET then pointed to a table nearby and said, "Just go over there and sit on one of the large dinner plates. We will be right over to eat." It took a second, but everybody in the group finally caught on that Frank was teasing them, and they smiled or laughed, some a bit nervously. It was sometimes hard to tell if Frank was joking because he had a dry sense of humor and could keep a straight face.